red lacquered shoes with sensible heels, a red skirt suit, and a typewriter. This is Sheryl Oring, and she has a story to tell.
My name's Sheryl Oring. I'm an artist, and I've been going around the country with a typewriter for the past 20 years, asking people what they wish to say to the president, or in this case, to the next president.
For years, Oring was a successful New York Times editor, but in 2004, she decided to swap that life for one filled with the voices and hopes of Americans she met through a project she called I Wish to Say. She also holds exhibitions and writes books, all based on people's messages and prints.
As you can.
So I'm playing the role of the secretary. My grandmother was a secretary, so I was inspired by her. And she was a secretary in the political science department at the University of Maryland, and always was dressed to the nines and had lots of costume jewelry and wigs that I could play with when I went to visit her. So I really loved dressing up with my grandmother's clothing and playing with all of her beautiful things.
I Wish to Say has been going on for 20 years and witnessed 4 presidencies.
How would you like to start? Sometimes people start to the next president, and sometimes they use a different beginning, so that's up to you.
Yeah, let's say to the next.
To the next president, should I say that?
Yeah, to the next president, or to Mr. Trump, fellow President Trump, our next president, you know.
Sometimes they need to think for a moment. I love that moment where someone's going like this, thinking, what will I say? It's such a beautiful moment.
I want to say that I hope that you're able, but I feel like it really kind of brings people together to have a conversation and think about politics and the world in a more wholesome way than, on social media where people are just shouting at each other.
Oring says she values American freedom of speech above all else, and she made it her job to document very different thoughts and ideas of her fellow Americans, from children's curiosity.
Dear Mr. Obama, what does it look like in the White House? Do you have a dog?
To urging to remember what made America the country it is.
Dear President, please don't forget what made this country great. Keep embracing diversity and support those with special needs.
To please to be more human.
Hello, Mr. President. As a teacher, I sometimes admit to my students when I have made a mistake. I have found that they respect me more when I'm honest like this. Perhaps this information could be useful to you.
Oring keeps every letter and postcard she ever types, accompanied by a small Polaroid picture of its author. The copy of her archive is stored at the University of North Carolina. For Elena Wolf in New York, NRI's VOA News.